Hello, it's Brendan from techbuzzireland. Today we have the Creative Outlier free. Slightly different, as in this is a wireless bone conductive headphones with Bluetooth 5.3. So it looks slightly different than your normal one there, and I suppose to put that a bit more into perspective, it's got the usual details on the box, power pack, the bone conductive technology 5.3, multi-byte connection, up to 10 hours battery life, IPX8, and lightweight, etc. on that. And this is what you actually get with it there at the moment. Silken earthdown tips as well, and the magnetic cable. But I suppose in essence, just looking at the model here for a moment, just looking at the earphones, when you look from the front, they look very similar to what you'd normally, just from the front, you'd see there. But in reality, when you go back over to the back and you actually see how they're really worn there, you'll actually notice that they're not in the ear that you'd normally traditionally expect to see. So that's the big straight away you'd see it, and actually go around the back and we'll go through it a bit more detail. So it just says bone conduction. Frequency range is standard enough for most earphones at the moment. Omnidirectional microphones, so obviously you can make and receive calls, etc. on that. Bluetooth version 5.3. And all the other basic specs that you'd expect again. I suppose what are you actually getting here at the moment is it comes with your earphones you get, and it comes with a charging lead. Before we go into too much there, you get a quick creative quick start guide, and what I will say in fairness, the quick start guide is actually quite good. On the unit itself, when you look around it, you've got the charging pins, 3 charging pins, and this is a magnetic connector, just connects on here, and it does actually connect if I put it in the right area. So that's magnetic, and you just plug it into your example, to your normal charger, etc. on that thing, and you can see the 3 buttons. On the front here, you'll see a microphone, and on the other side you won't see any other buttons here. So basically you've got 3 buttons for all the different things that you're required to do, and obviously the charging there, and an LED light there. It's going to be changing color in the background here as well. So that just plugs in, charging, etc. With the charging, get about 10 hours charge time. The weight is actually slightly lighter than its Creative Outlier Free Pro. That's another version there. It's coming in at 30 grams there at the moment. Big one as well would be the IPX5 versus the IPX8, which is actually one of the other models. It's on the Bluetooth, the same single, and the buttons are, the one thing you'll notice straight away is the buttons are a little bit more protruded. I personally like this because it's actually it's sticking out a little bit more, so you can actually feel it better when you're changing the buttons. When you see 3 buttons, your first impression would be, oh, it doesn't have many features, but actually very clearly it's got all the different magnetic charging port, LED indicator, volume up and down, etc. Very important multi-point for me, multi-point pairing, connect 2 different devices, and I'll go through that in a few moments. Within here, it's got all the different details. Holding the buttons down for a second or two will actually have different, a dual feature, I suppose. And again, onto the back, it just tells you about the charging there at the moment, how to actually charge it. LED indicators. One of my really favorites that should be on every product, etc. When you have a problem, master reset. So typically you never use it, but if you get a problem, it's always good to have that master reset. And the manual itself is quite good. What I also like about it as well is I always love a QR code. So within the QR code here, we'll just go down to QR code, and it'll come up. So within here at the moment, when you lose the manual or you do something else and you want to get a bit more information about, instead of going off trying to Google to search what are the information coming up, so it gives the users information, knowledge, solutions, it gives us battery handling, etc. Frequency answered questions, product parts, battery charging, on off. So you've got all the more detailed information. Is you can find out the warranty, and it'll just come down about warranty returns, etc. It'll actually come up and it'll tell you there's a 2-year warranty with this particular product, which is actually quite good. At least there's Creative have got a bit of faith in the product. What I did mention as well earlier on was it's multi-mode. One thing about multi-mode is quite good. You can connect it to a couple of devices, etc. My colleague Jim O'Brien from TechBuzz has already done a review on the Outlier Pro Bone, creative free, the Pro version of this particular model. So it's the exact same idea, same principles, the same buttons. I just put this on Shu because he's done it with an Android phone. But in reality, what his YouTube video, you can actually do the same thing with your this. So because it's multi-point, you can connect it to both. So all the same features that can be connected, etc. from there. Whether it's turn the volume up. So regarding the connection there at the moment is there for a normal YouTube video, you could use it on a Teams call, you could use it whatever you want to call it there at the moment. The buttons will actually show it there. So when Jim is showing it, he's doing it with an Android phone. The exact same principles apply. I'll just turn the volume up here, and you can see the volume being adjusted in the background on that. So you can see me decreasing the volume. And I do stress this, I do like the idea of these are the bigger buttons, because when it's behind your head, sometimes you can kind of go. So I'm doing the exact same thing on the laptop regarding changing tracks, etc., as Jim has done on the other version of this particular, which is the Pro. And I suppose the main difference between this particular model is the IP rating would not be as good as the Pro version, and also they've got an SD card which you can actually store a load of new songs on that. But by all means, check out his particular review at TechBuzz also on that particular one there. As far as quality is concerned, as far as knockabout, very good. And we'll just pause this. There's a couple of things, as I mentioned, in this particular product that I really like, and there's a couple of really basic niggles that thing. Number one, the charger is a proprietary magnetic charger. I am so against this particular having a charger there at the moment, because USB-C, having everything, just another charger I've got to carry there at the moment. It does actually have a 2-hour charging time. So you plug it in for 2 hours, you get about 10 hours on charge there at the moment, which is quite not bad. But I suppose the technology, I prefer to see wireless charging. I prefer to use USB-C there at the moment on that. The other thing is actually a niggle for me is it doesn't come with a carry case, etc. So when you do go out and about, you start using it, you put it down, where do you leave it? And you've got to keep this separate. So you've got these two devices there. Do you throw them on the table? Do you get them lost, etc. on that? It's just a personal little niggle there at the moment, having a thing there. The other part is, typically with your in-ear phones, for example, you plug them in there directly. And you put them into the box, it's powered down. So you've got to remember each time to actually switch this physically off there at the moment, manually powered off and on, just to make sure they're actually physically powered off. And there's a couple of niggles, but what's really, really positive on this that I find is, I found recently these are my go-to earphones when I'm going out for a walk. Typically I go for about an hour a day walk. I put them on because they're over my ear. They won't fall off, they never fall off. You put them on, they work continuously, as in they bouncing around. Second thing is, when I do actually bump into somebody I know, I can leave these on my ear and stay talking to them quite happily because they're not there. And some people will, typically all you have to do is change the tips on the normal ones, they won't fall off. Often wearing a woolly hat, for example, is you put it over your head, it naggles on the normal in-ear phones, and they just make their way out and they fall out. Not as bad as cycling, one falls out. These are practically impossible to accidentally fall off, which is a real positive. And also from the safety perspective is the over your ear, they're not in your ear, so wax, for example, is not building up in your ear there at the moment from this particular technology there. And if you meet somebody there, you don't have to take these off. You can just leave them on your head and have a conversation. And I'm aware with other earphones you can put here through, but I don't think it's the exact same. So from a safety point of view, I think it's quite good there at the moment is there. They are robust, as in you can bend them around there at the moment. Second, as far as call quality is concerned, and we're just sticking with making calls out, etc. on that, different. It's the vibration that you'd actually feel, that you'd slightly hear a little bit of a vibration for a phone call on that. But in reality is, I'm not expecting super quality in the terms of the call quality coming out, you know, when I'm talking directly, so, but I can hear clearly, and it wouldn't be something I would listen to orchestral music type thing for that. So it's quite good, it does work, and you can still have quite good calls as you would, but slightly different, slightly vibration that you'd actually feel. Different, not bad, just different, I suppose. As far as your normal audio quality is concerned, one thing I do like is when you put these on your ear, for example, and you turn the volume up to the last on purpose, just to test them. I wouldn't recommend it a long time. person beside you does not actually hear them. So it's not as bad as going on a public transport and you can hear somebody 3-4 steps away. Every music they're playing on their earphones, these are not, so you certainly don't hear on calls, whether it's via the laptop or on the phone there at the moment. It does drown out some of the background noise. That's probably down to the creative brand there at the moment, because it's been around for a while, so they actually know what they're doing in the microphones. As far as call quality is concerned, I've deliberately put on some, I suppose, really music that you can hear the tones, the highs and lows there at the moment. Not bad. Wouldn't be my favourite from the points of quality on that, as in the best quality going, but it does the job sufficiently well. But as I said earlier, it is a go-to one that I regularly go to more than any others, and I have a choice of a variety of earphones. From the simple things, I think they're a little bit safer from an ear's perspective. The won't fall off is a huge thing for me there at the moment on that. The IPX rating there is quite good. You could take it in the shower, in and out of the shower. It won't you wouldn't take it swimming, but you can have it out in the rain, and if it gets a bit thing, and it gives a 2-year warranty with this particular product. So overall, a lovely little touch. It is certainly something to consider rather than your traditional earphones, because and I'll also stress that my colleague Jim O'Brien has done the Outlier Free Pro. It's a very similar idea. Check it out in Tech Ireland. It's a similar idea. The main difference is the IP rating and the SD card, which means that you can download your music directly. But other than that, the same buttons, the same things going, and it's not limited with these particular buttons there at the moment. The lights does have different things for its charging, etc. So it gives the information on that. And again, thank you very much for watching Tech Buzz Ireland, the creative Outlier free wireless bone conductive earphone with Bluetooth technology. Thank you.